And we're back with a new edition of the Red Mountain Express. We've been gone for what?
Like a month.
It's been a long time. I don't remember what I'm doing.
You don't remember what you're doing?
We're all new at this now.
Yeah. I'm Blake Westbrook. I'm joined with
Patrick Tucker.
JD Baker.
And Matt Joyner is not joining us today. He is, well, he's doing something.
He's keeping a baby
Keeping
while
a
his
baby
wife
right
is
now.
out partying.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. You know what? Sometimes mamas needs to party. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why we stopped, because my wife had a baby about a month ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we're actually recording this in the Swayze room of my new house.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
The poster isn't up right
Have
now.
You have to explain the Swayze.
Yeah, I don't know if I've explained this yet. So we bought this house. I live in Bluff Park, and we bought this house, and there's a room that's kind of off the kitchen that's we use as the playroom. And it will probably be an office one day once the kids grow up and they don't need a playroom anymore and they use the backyard, right?
Sure.
Or the park across the street. So we did not know this was in here, but we came in here the day we closed, and we were like looking through the house, and I walked in this room and I kind of closed the door, and on the back of the door is a poster of Patrick Swayze, and it's we need to put it back.
It's big too.
It's big.
I think we
and
need
it
to
says the
post a picture
hunkiest
of
of the
this.
hunks of 1990. So the story gets better. So it kind of, I think I sent a picture and I put a video or like a music to it with like best time of my life or something like that. Well, I had to paint this room because it was like this really dark teak wood, and it looks really good now, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
It looks great.
And so I took down the poster very carefully. We didn't want to damage the Patrick Swayze poster.
It's vintage.
Yeah. But you turn that thing over, and there's more. And I think it's like, what? There's like Kevin Costner,
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon,
Nicolas Cage.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Mel Gibson.
Who else is on this? Johnny Depp.
Was Johnny Depp on
Yeah,
there?
he's really young. He's like,
yeah.
John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi's on it. And there's
That's great.
And it's some other guy that we don't even know who it is, but like,
We need to do a contest where if someone can guess the exact year from when this was.
Yeah.
Based on the clues.
you know what? We're gonna put a picture up on our social media.
We'll post it on
Yeah.
Instagram.
But anyway, so
we'll have to do some research and find out which magazine that came from.
I don't know if it's from magazine. I mean, I think it's just like you ordered this poster.
Well, it wasn't homemade.
You know,
I'm pretty sure that came out of a magazine.
Yeah. So, so this is the Swayze room. That's kind of what I call it. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's great.
Well, we're glad to be back.
I'm very glad.
We're gonna talk about some news here, and then we're gonna get to an interview that we recorded about a month ago.
Yeah. So our apologies to the folks over at Pointz. We recorded this interview, and then I think like my wife had the baby
Like the
The
next
next
day.
week.
the
I
next
think.
day.
Yeah.
And so we were going to do the news like later on that week. Well, it just never happened because we were going to do the news portion, and it just, so
Fizzled.
it fizzled. So we'll put that on there. We actually did that interview at the Lumbar. Go check out the folks over there at the Lumbar. But let's talk about some news. A lot have happened since we've been gone, but recently some news has kind of made some headlines.
So this is Monday Night Brewing out of Atlanta, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's a brew pub.
And it's a brew pub, and I think that this is their first location outside of Atlanta. And also, I think the article said that this is the first sort of brew pub with like food and the whole deal.
Yeah, I want to say
It's
they
not just
changed the law or something like that for you to
Back 40 does that.
Yeah, maybe they do.
Well, Birmingham used to have all these crazy laws about brew pubs. Like you could brew beer there, but you couldn't sell it outside of the pub or whatever. And like it
was
had
only
to be like in a
on-premise
historical
consumption.
None of
building.
those
Yeah.
laws make any sense.
It was so ridiculous, but those have all gone. Thanks, Free the Hops.
Do you think maybe we're really saturating our market of breweries? I mean, because Dread River opened up, and they're a distillery though. They opened
I
up
think
recently.
they have beer and wine too.
Well, they have
Yeah, I
beer
think
too.
they have
Yeah.
beer,
So I
yeah.
mean, you got to think about that. In the time that we have been gone from this podcast, there have been 2 brew pubs or breweries that have been announced or opened, and I'm sure there's probably a third. We just ain't thinking of it.
They're going to open Ferris in Trustville soon.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'll have to look because Rusty's food truck was at one of them.
He's everywhere.
I don't
You know where Rusty's
Oh, that
hasn't
was
come?
Slag Heap. Slag Heap. Was
Rusty's
one.
hasn't parked outside of my work building in Inverness yet.
I know. I literally was just talking about this the other day. I'm trying to work on it. Sorry. You're not at work anyway right now.
This is my last week of paternity leave.
Oh.
It's
At
been
least
great.
You had 4 weeks.
Hey, man. Work for a good company, man. Can't help it. So anyway, Monday Night Brewing, they're going to be opening the Denham building, which is behind Good People Brewing Company. They're going to have, I want to say, like loft apartments above it. But this is going to be
I think there's
the
like
anchor.
other retail down the bottom too.
Yeah, so this is going to be the
Some other
anchor.
stuff.
And you were talking about how you have Good People Brewing Company, and then it's kind of
Until for like a block and a half probably.
yeah, and then you have this building.
Yeah, they need to kind of fill that middle part in.
Are you
I
saying?
think.
Oh, I think they definitely will, especially now that this is open. I mean, you've got stuff that's kind of popped up around Good People. There's the pizza place.
Tortugas,
Tortugas, man.
Yeah.
Good pizza.
That is good.
It is
Really
good
good
pizza. That's right behind there now. So there's some other stuff popping up around there. I think you'll see the rest of those buildings get bought up and redeveloped pretty soon.
They probably already been bought up. They're just
True.
They're just
Probably
working on it.
waiting for the right person to come spend a lot of money there redoing them. But the mock-ups of this place look awesome.
Yeah, it looks really, really
Yeah.
good. They're going to try to open, they said, late 2019, early 2020. I would probably shoot for early 2020.
I would say that, anything in 2019 is probably a little optimistic.
They have been working on where they can bring it in from the outside. They're
That's a good
the
point.
third
They could probably
location
start.
of a brewery, because in Atlanta they have one, I want to say in Midtown, and they have one that says just garage. So I'm guessing it's the original one. And so then there's going to be this one. So they can bring things in already. They can open up and do like a soft opening. And they said the tap room is going to open up first and then everything else. Is kind of what I read. Now, I may be completely wrong on that, but
yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I was thinking about them getting all the brewing equipment in there, but really they can start out with just their stuff shipped.
well, yeah, I mean, you think
Yeah.
about Back 40. I mean, Back 40 didn't have to do that. I'm sure they
Right.
brought stuff in from their home location.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I mean, you can go to Good People and have a few beers, and you can head over to this
You
place.
could just
and get
do
some
a
beers.
brewery crawl. That
Aren't
was
they going to be
harder
building
say
that
than I wanted
student
it to
housing over there too?
be. Right on top of the pub.
There you go. Yeah, some good things over there.
And it really throws me off to call that the Parkside District, since I think of Parkside, the bar that's in Avondale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Every time
Next to the park.
that's exactly right. No, you're right about that. What else we got in news? Oh, the mayor cut the ribbon on the new expansion for the Birmingham Zoo. Have you
It
been out
looks
here?
fantastic. I haven't been there, but it looks good from the pictures.
We drove by it. It's it fits perfectly. It looks great. But they've added a lot of dimensions to the place. Like I think your company actually did something for this, right?
Yep. The Steislinger Foundation, I think, made a pretty sizable donation to the zoo, and they're opening, I think, the Steislinger, is it Learning Center?
It's a learning center, yeah.
So it's like a meeting, business, conference type place where you can go have classrooms or offsite meetings or things like
retreats,
that. Sure.
That'd be great. I'd love to have a company retreat and then go see some animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I mean, I remember when I was in Atlanta, we had meetings and stuff at like the aquarium, which I thought was really cool because you were on like the backside of the beluga whale thing. It was pretty neat. So
Yeah, so apparently this big plaza is going to have, it has a learning center. There's a first aid station, restrooms, of course, offices for those who work there, and they'll have like event rental space too. So if you want to have an event at the zoo, you can have plenty of space for it. They've done events at the zoo before, but I think this is really going to add to it. And I think this is just part of their redevelopment. They've had several phases. One, they did some renovations that opened back in 2017. This is the second phase, and the third is they're going to update the predator enclosure or the area, and so that's kind of next. But I think this was the big part of it.
yeah, the most noticeable one at first was they took out the pond, right? Like there used to be a
that
pond
big
there.
in
They
the middle.
took that out and kind of made it a green space. And
Yeah, so the first phase was Henley Park. So yeah, that's what you're talking about,
Yeah.
which opened in 2017. Which I was there when they opened that thing, and
it's pretty nice.
it's very nice. Yeah.
But this was much needed. I mean, the entryway to the zoo has been the same since I was probably before I was born.
Or do you have like an annual pass to that?
We
or-
do, yeah.
we have a membership too.
See,
Which is
we don't.
great because
It pays for itself after you go like twice.
yeah, I mean, realistic, and especially if you have small kids, it's fantastic because you can go, and if they freak out or whatever, they have meltdowns or just get tired or whatever, you can just leave, and like come back another day.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of times where Liz would do that. She would take the boys and just go to the zoo, and then they might see 3 animals, and they might see all of them. Just depends on how the kids are doing. But with the annual pass, you can just go and you can leave. And then it's also great because
You get discounts.
you
Like
get
other
discounts
zoos.
at other places. Like it's good at other aquariums and zoos as well. They get like half price or whatever. There's like
Yeah.
What we always do with our daughter is if our oldest daughter, since I have 2 kids now,
yes, you do.
Oh, I'm well aware. Trust me. Is that if we go through the zoo and Maggie's still not tired, we make sure her swimsuit's on because then she plays with that little splash pad and she gets worn out and then she sleeps really good. So we make sure we do that. So and that's a cool addition to the zoo. I mean, they did that a few years back and
yeah, I agree.
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of splash pads, have y'all seen the new splash pad in Hoover?
We went.
So I've been.
It was
holy moly.
Y'all went to?
Yeah, so we went. It was kind of the last weekend before. Well, we kind of thought was the last weekend before our second daughter was going to arrive, and so we're like, let's take Maggie there. And so we got there, and something had broken, and they were fixing it. And it was like a 5-minute fix, so the water was off. So all the kids were over on the little playground area, and so me and Megan and Maggie were just walking around the little splash pad, and then I don't know if so all of a sudden the water started coming back on. And I felt the ground move with all the kids just stampeding over the water. I mean, y'all, I'm not joking here. It was just like...
It was like Jurassic Park.
It was just
like
here they come.
And it was like a stampede, high-pitched screams. I mean, high seas were being hit. Glasses were shattering everywhere. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. I mean, it was just... Yeah, it was wow. But
I've heard about it. I haven't been.
It's good though. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was nice. That playground was nice. Everything was really well done.
Yeah, I mean,
how does it compare to the one out in Sacred Hollow on the
it's
Park one?
much more involved.
Really?
There's
it's
all
huge.
sorts of stuff. This is spinning over here, and this.
It has a big bucket that dumps a bunch of water on
Okay,
you,
okay.
and
it's pretty intense.
yeah, it's really
I've heard
intense.
it sounds really cool. We actually just had our youngest is just turned 4, so we had his
Don't forget
birthday
his
party out
birthday
at the
presents
Sacred
out there,
Hollow
so,
splash pad. So, and that place gets pretty crazy. But it broke the week before we were supposed to have his birthday party there. So we're like, oh no, what do we do? But thankfully they got it fixed. So
Yeah.
it's working now. But
We
we're
didn't-
gonna have to check out the.
We didn't mean to
splash
talk
pad.
about the story, but it just kind of mentioned it, and it's really awesome. I mean, it's
I've heard
really
lots
cool.
of good things. So
Yeah,
I need to wait till the newness wears off a little bit.
yeah,
maybe
and
couch
it's
that
completely
down.
free.
yeah,
I mean, that's
check back about December. It'll be good.
exactly. Nobody will be out there.
Nobody
then.
will be out there then.
But the playground area is really cool.
Yeah,
too.
I agree.
So yeah, check that out. We'll put some links on there. It's completely free. I mean, it's over there next to the Hoover Met, behind the Finley Center.
Which
Can't
the
miss
Finley
it.
Center's pretty cool.
It's huge.
We went out there for, I don't know if we've talked about any of this since the podcast, but we went out there for the SEC baseball tournament and watched. My in-laws are big Vandy fans, and so
I bet they're really happy now.
yeah, they're super happy now because they won the College World Series. But they won the. We were out there for the last. Well, I was out there for the last game. They were out there for all the games.
That's intense. That's
But they
dedication.
yeah, I mean it was because it was hot, but Vandy came back and won that game. From being down 9-0 or something ridiculous. But we were out there and they had the fan zone in the Finley Center, and it was all set up. They had all kinds of stuff. They had a zip line. They had.
Well, have y'all ever been to the SEC football championship in Atlanta?
I have not.
So I have, and they have the fan experience there too, and I'm sure it's much more involved than baseball, but I think that's kind of what they want to do with these championships is have kind of a fan center, and the Finley Center is a perfect complement to that.
Yeah,
yeah, and
I mean it was
huge.
great. They had everything. They had pool tables. They had blow up, the inflatables for the kids. They had, it was just they had everything. It was awesome. So we sat in there half the time because it was air conditioned and we could watch the game up on the big screen. And one kid was playing free video games over here, and one kid's building with Legos over there, and I'm just kind of watching everything.
This
go
is
on at
awesome.
once. It was great.
Just breathe a big sigh of relief, just wear yourselves out, kids. You'll sleep good tonight.
Yes, and they did.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to 4th of July is next week. We want to kind of remind everybody that there's going to be, of course, Thunder on the Mountain.
Thunder on the Mountain.
Yeah, and I know they messed up. Was it last year or the year before last? Remember one year they kind of they had to apologize. I can't remember. I think the music
get
was
it out of
off.
sync.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Which people are like, oh, it was out of sync with the music. Well, did fireworks go off?
Yeah,
it was
I
fine.
remember they
I don't
put
know if
those
they
new
had
lights
those
on
up.
Vulcan.
No, I think I think they did them last year.
I think they had him in maybe just in time for last year's
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Because our little one sleeps no matter where she is, and Maggie, I don't think has ever really seen fireworks. So let's go ahead and scare the bejesus out of her before she gets 3
Make
years
sure you
old.
have the headphones.
Right. So on Thursday, July 4th at 9 p.m., they will once again illuminate the skies above Birmingham. It'll be 20 minutes of fireworks, and of course they'll have Vulcan highlighted with all those new LED lights they have going on. And you kind of see it from anywhere, like Homewood, downtown. I've watched it from like 3 places. So
I'm going to tack a rider onto that and mention the Flames of Freedom at Sloss Furnace.
Oh, there you
the
go.
Flames of Freedom.
Flames of Freedom. It starts at 6 p.m. You can design your own cast iron scratch block, which is, I guess, just whatever the mold that the cast iron will be poured into. The first iron pour will be at 7:15, and then they're also doing a fire-throwing trebuchet performance at 8:30, which sounds
awesome.
incredible.
I want to go to this.
And they said you can see the Thunder on the Mountain from there. So if you want to see a fire-throwing trebuchet,
I do.
Sloss Furnace.
I just want to see a steel pour. That's what I want to see.
Also true.
Yeah.
Iron.
Whatever you call it. That seems cool.
Flames of Freedom.
Flames
Flames
of
of Freedom.
Awesome.
Speaking of freedom, have you seen the car dealership in North Mobile that's selling it was like you get like your car, an American flag, a shotgun, and a Bible. Have y'all not heard this yet?
No.
So there's a Ford dealership like in Washington County, which is near Mobile for anybody who doesn't know. And I just for some reason wanted to bring this up, but you buy like a truck there, and you'll get like an American flag, a Bible, and a shotgun.
Can they give guns like?
Well, so here's the deal.
You can give it away.
They give them like a gift certificate,
Okay.
but apparently like Ford called them and say, "Hey, listen, this violates our policy, so you can't do that.
You can't do
anymore."
that.
But have you not seen this? Like,
Where they're like, no.
there was
we
like a
can't.
guy
It's
that like was
America.
standing in front of his truck with an American flag and a shotgun and a Bible, and I'm just like,
Oh my goodness.
oh man,
I bet you sold a lot of Fords though.
I bet they sold a ton of Fords. Yeah, I'm gonna drive on down to Washington County and get me a Ford, a Bible. Do you get to pick the Bible? I mean, do you think it's like a?
Do you get a gift certificate for the Bible?
Do you know? I'm sure they give you a Bible. Do you think it's like a King James Bible, or do you get an NIV or New American Standard, or what do y'all think?
Does it have to be a Bible? Or can it
What
be
if you?
any
What,
religious
do you
text?
think? What if you said
What if you
like
asked for a
Quran?
Quran?
Yeah, or Torah. I mean.
They'd probably use the shotgun.
I was about to say the same thing.
But anyway, I don't think.
Yeah, that's so America. America to the core, except for the truck that's made in Mexico. But whatever.
Hey, man.
Whatever.
So, but no, they're not doing that anymore. I just thought it was funny.
That is pretty funny.
So yeah, so we'll put links
It's
to
good while it
both.
lasted.
Yeah, we have for there a couple days. So we'll put links to both of those. My big story that I wanted to point out here on this show was Buc-ee's is coming to Leeds. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be on the big. I think it's gonna be over there next to your brother's barbecue place,
it's
right?
the same exit as the Bass Pro Shops and the outlet malls.
Yeah, have you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
It's a gas station, right?
It's
more than that,
travel
man.
center.
It's
Travel
a
center?
travel center. It puts like one of those travel.
Don't they
Like a
have,
Flying J?
It puts a Flying J to shame. So, it's 50,000 square feet.
That's like a
Walmart.
That's a Walmart.
Yeah. It's like
That's insane.
so. Yeah, so they're prominent in Texas. Like they're only in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Well, these gas stations are huge, and they're known for like their really clean bathrooms, and they are like they're the cleanest bathroom. They're cleaner than my bathroom here at my house, and we're clean, folks. But I mean, you go in there, and there's someone in there always mopping or going to give you a toilet a wipe down before you walk in there. I mean, it's so clean. Wait, but they have like food in there, and like when you go to pay for your gas, like they'll pull up your car on like a TV screen. Is that your car? That is my car, and they'll turn your pump. But it's huge. I mean, they got like 80 pumps or something. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I've heard mixed things about a Buc-ee's.
What have you heard that's bad about a Buc-ee's?
I don't know that it was necessarily bad. It's
So
just
you
like
just
someone
you just
someone who
lied
was,
to our listeners.
No, someone who was hating on it because they were like, if this is near our house, like I'm moving.
I'm just amazed that people are getting this excited about a gas
Well,
station.
I mean, so they have like 17 flavors of boiled peanuts or something ridiculous.
What the hell's
Like,
wrong with that? No, I'm
Nothing.
just. I like.
I have no,
no, I
nothing
love
against that.
boiled peanuts.
I'm pulling up a picture to show you guys. So,
I've heard that they sell barbecue
there you
too,
go, guys.
But
oh, they do, and it's pretty good.
don't buy that. Just go down the
No,
street.
just go down to Rusty's
Rusty's
and get you some. So here we go, guys. So look how.
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
it's like the Mall of America of gas stations.
Yeah, it is
That is
huge.
a ridiculously sized
And like they
place.
have like their mascot is like this big beaver, And you'll see stickers everywhere, like in Texas, and people swear by them. Like my wife's cousin was telling me about them before we were coming to Texas, or he was like, y'all need to stop at Buc-ee's next time y'all come back through here. So we were going to Houston, and I was like, oh, we're going to stop. And one, the gas is cheaper. You know, one, because you're probably in Texas. But two, I mean, they got everything there. And I mean everything. So.
Well, I will stop by.
They've already broken ground.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like, this was like, they get to it. Now, there's one they put in, like, Baldwin
100
County.
gas pumps.
100 gas pumps, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now, they put them, they're all on the interstate in Texas, or not a lot, there's a lot. And then there's one, I want to say, in Baldwin County that they just built. And they got sued by a bunch of gas stations around there because their gas prices are lower than the gas stations around them. So the gas stations sued them. I don't think they
Did
won.
they win?
I don't think so. There you go. There's like an aerial view. Check that out. Look how many of that is.
I mean, it's ridiculous. That's huge.
Yeah. So what you can do is you can go to Leeds. You can go to the outlets and get you some clothes. Stop by and get you some gas. But before you leave town, you need to just drive on down to Rusty's to get you some barbecue.
There you go.
See?
Yeah.
And while you're out there, you can go to the Barber Motorsports Museum and check
Yeah.
out some motorcycles.
You
or
go to a
the
drive-in movie
They're supposed to be
Yeah.
building the Southern Museum of Flight is moving
and-
out there, too.
Well, the article that I saw on AL.com kind of talked about how Leeds kind of lost out on a lot of things, and now they've gotten a lot since then. The motorsports park was the biggest thing the first thing they got. And then the outlets came, and then
Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop, and this.
Was
And
Bass Pro Shop before the outlets?
they opened in 2008.
yes, Bass Pro Shop was there before the outlets.
Yeah, and so this is, and now you get the Southern Museum of Flight, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be building. I mean, had y'all ever been to the Southern Museum of Flight when it was sort of downtown?
No, but now my wife had been several times.
Yeah, we took the kids a couple times. It was pretty cool. They've got some pretty cool stuff in there, but it'll be great to see what they do with it out in Leeds when they can sort of build their own space for it and spread out a little bit. It'll be pretty cool.
Now the Barbers Museum is pretty awesome.
It's
that place
incredible.
is insane.
Yeah, I mean the motorsports park's awesome. I mean, I went out there for the race last
For the
time.
IndyCar race?
Yeah, and I
That's
was invited to
cool.
go again next year by some of the sponsors. They're like, "You can come on out." Absolutely,
Yeah,
I'll be there. in a
That whole
heartbeat.
area is nice.
Yeah.
I like
need
just like
it.
the random artwork that's there too. Just like there's like
Yeah.
random sculptures and stuff.
Oh yeah, out in the
Yeah.
like the paddock
Now,
areas
how
and
much
stuff.
food did your brother probably go through that weekend?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the food truck set up at Barber this past year.
Did he
That's-
close on like Monday and say, "Guys, we need to just
I don't know if they did or not.
yeah"? Because I
Probably
know
to recover.
Because I know one year didn't he say I think that they closed for like the Monday and they're like we just gotta all recover from it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of their busiest times of the year. I mean, there's a ton of people out there for that. And this was the first year he had the food truck set up at the track. So it was good. They sold a lot of food, but then a lot of people ate there and they were like, yeah, where's your restaurant? And like they ended up coming down to the restaurant.
He
too.
needs to put the sauce on the market.
I know.
I mean,
Did you hear that, Rusty?
yeah, Rusty.
He's probably
Come on,
listening.
man. The sauce needs to be at my Piggly Wiggly. I mean, I'll come out there and get it, but
It's just drive to Leeds. man.
it's a lot easier for me just to
Stock up while you're there.
I probably should. So
Or put it on Amazon so you can just 2-day ship.
House.
half of the show, we'll have an interview with the folks from Pointz, and we'll see you guys next week. Beecham Woodworks is a locally owned and operated wood shop in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in custom furniture and small home goods. Chris and K&M Beecham create a wide variety of unique pieces of all sizes, ranging from cutting boards to farmhouse tables. Using wood sourced from Alabama sawmills, Beecham Woodworks creates affordable quality pieces that will be a one-of-a-kind fixture for your home. So support your local woodworker and visit redmountainexpress.com/woodworks or check them out on their Facebook and Instagram accounts. Beecham Woodworks, turning your house into a home. And it's good to be back on the show. We're coming to you from the Lumbar, located in Pepper Place. They have started a thing with Cantina where they share their menu. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm looking
have
at
it
the
in front of
menu.
you.
So this is kind of the restaurant takeover from Cantina while they're kind of closing down and moving over to Avondale
They're
to
in
the old
limbo.
the old Wasabi Wines. Yeah, they're in limbo right now, but they have a delicious looking menu. I think a pared down menu a little bit, and they've got appetizers, chips and salsa tacos. It all looks very good. I've been watching the food come out. It looks delicious.
Yeah, and I think it's a hit because this place is packed. So come down here to Pepper Place, try out the good food they have here. And then when you come down here for the market, check out their breakfast burritos. I think we've talked about this before, but they're
so good.
fantastic. So fantastic.
Are you getting a kickback for the burritos?
No, I'm not. I'm hoping to get like a free burrito every now and then. That's the kickback that I get. So, yeah.
It's acceptable.
It is acceptable, yeah. We have a good show in store for you, but we have a guest on the show today. Our guest is Sydney Unruh. She is from Pointz. She is the co-founder of the app Pointz. I have it on my phone, I believe.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, so we're all big fans of it. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So before we get started, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, just kind of the normal bio.
Yeah, well, I grew up here in Birmingham, so I've been here my entire life, besides the 4 years I was at Auburn. I went to Oak Mountain High School. So when I got out of school, I majored in marketing, worked in several positions here, and this past summer, my good friend Andrew Petrovics actually reached out to me, and I thought he was contacting me to do a couple hours of marketing work for his app that he was working on, and it turned out to be, hey, can you come on full time and be my co-founder and help me launch in Birmingham? So that's where I'm at now, and it's awesome. I'm learning everything about a tech startup that I never knew existed. So it's been fun. It's been a ride.
So for those who do not know what Pointz is, explain it to our listeners.
Yeah, so Pointz is an app, and the entire goal is to get more people supporting local businesses. So you download the app, and it's Pointz with a Z. We're in the Google Play and the iTunes Store. So you download the app, you turn on Bluetooth, and then you earn points when you spend time in local businesses. Those points go towards rewards. So we've got local restaurant gift cards, concert tickets, brewery gear, local Birmingham merchandise. So really fun stuff. But it's just a great way to kind of explore Birmingham and get rewarded for supporting local.
That's great. Now, how long has it been live?
We officially launched September 13th of last year, so less than a year.
What are some current locations where you can use Pointz?
Well, we are in breweries, restaurants, coffee shops, spas. So right now, kind of the bigger ones are your breweries, Good People, Ghost Train, Cahaba, Avondale. We've got a brewery out in Alabaster, Interstellar Ginger Beer.
Okay.
They actually have glowing beer. It's really awesome if you haven't been there. And then we've got all the Revelator locations. We've got Octane in Uptown. We've got John City Diner, Ted's Restaurant. Yeah, we're in about 40 local businesses and still growing. We keep trying to add new businesses every month. So it's a lot of places. So if you're in Birmingham, it really makes sense for you to download the app. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Just have your Bluetooth on. You're likely to get points somewhere.
And that's kind of the cool thing about the app that sets us apart too, is you download the app and you turn on Bluetooth, and then you don't have to take your phone out ever again. You don't have to remember you have the app. You're going to be visiting these places and still getting points towards rewards.
Yeah, and it's based on time, right? Is that right? Yeah.
It is. So there's a minimum amount of time. So a brewery would be 30 minutes. You have to spend at least 30 minutes to get the points. You don't acquire more points the more time you spend. We just set a time window to make sure people aren't popping in places, getting points, and leaving. We want to make sure they're staying, they're purchasing a beer while they're there, and really supporting that business.
It's awesome.
What are the rewards that come with Pointz?
The rewards,
yeah.
It's things like $50 gift cards, and they kind of rotate. So they rotate about every 2 weeks. We put on a full set of new rewards, but we've got a pedal bike tour on there.
I think I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
so just
I
fun
passed
stuff.
those folks last time I came to Lumbar for an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, they look like they're having a fantastic time.
Yeah, and that's the goal with the rewards too. If you look at all of our rewards, they're all locally themed as well. So, everything about the app is kind of to encourage you to support local and really explore Birmingham, and hopefully check out some places or some businesses you haven't been to before.
You got some really awesome stuff. There's some Birmingham Legion gear on there that I'm like, yeah, I need that.
So I know that right now you're just currently in Birmingham. Is there maybe an opportunity for you to expand to maybe other cities or to Montgomery, Huntsville, and then maybe outside of Alabama
Yeah,
as well?
definitely. That's the goal. We want to expand after we've really fully saturated Birmingham.
Right.
Right now we're doing a lot of things with the app that are geared more towards the user. So we're really trying to build in value for users in Birmingham. So we built the app and we made it so easy that I don't think anyone was using it. I mean, they would download it once and then no one had a reason to open it again.
Right.
And so we want to provide more value than that. We really want it to be a resource for you to discover new local businesses, invite your friends. There's a way now where you can add friends and actually earn more points for visiting our locations with your friends. You can earn up to 5 times the points just for going there with your friends.
Wow.
So we've really been reaching out to users and trying to get feedback, and events was something that I feel like there aren't enough platforms for. There are a lot of different awesome bloggers around town that send out event emails, and then there's Facebook events, but there's not a great centralized place to kind of figure out what's going on. And especially if there's an event happening at one of the businesses, that's a great incentive to go visit that business that night. So we're trying to do our best to promote these local businesses that are on our app and really make sure we give people a reason to visit them. So,
I ask this of everybody that comes on the show that has a successful business or a venture. Are y'all surprised? Because y'all have been pretty successful in the last couple of years since you've been active. Are y'all surprised by the success you've had with Pointz?
Yeah, it has been surprising. I mean, people really like what we're doing, and I think it's just because people in Birmingham love Birmingham.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's that way in other cities, but that's something we found that everyone, it just really wants to help support us, and they can definitely get behind supporting local businesses. So we've had so much help and just so much positive feedback. I mean, and I've gone door to door selling to local businesses and had nothing but wonderful experiences with anyone I've talked to. Which was surprising. I didn't quite expect that. So it's just, Birmingham's just a great city, and I think everyone appreciates what we're doing. So,
what is the process like for the small businesses that want to maybe add the app to their to the things that they're doing already?
Yeah. So for a local business, the way it works is we have a small Bluetooth beacon. And it's a small plastic sensor. It's battery powered. It lasts about 3 to 5 years. They're all over Birmingham and no one sees them. So no one's going to notice it. But we put that in there, and then that allows you to actually offer points. So a local business is in complete control of how many points they offer. And they can offer those points on a weekly basis. So they can offer more points on a Monday when they're really trying to drive traffic, and then less points on the weekend when they're able to fill their seats on their own. So it kind of gives them a way to play around and really try to drive traffic. We also provide a lot of really amazing analytics and data for our business owners, because we're able to tell them,
Who came where,
exactly.
when.
On Thursday nights, it's predominantly 40 to 50-year-old men. So maybe you shouldn't offer that, bachelor wine special. And,
Right.
it helps them kind of gauge who their customers are and when they're coming.
That's really interesting. I didn't even think about that side of it.
Yeah, we can provide a lot of great analytics for them. It's just, a lot of that's just been, what do you care about knowing? What would be valuable to you? So a lot of back and forth with our business owners trying to build a product that they really find value in.
Now, is there like a subscription fee for the businesses?
We actually charge by the points.
Okay.
So we charge them for the points when someone actually comes in, spends time, and earns those points.
Okay.
So it's free for them to actually offer them. We're only charging them when someone comes into their business.
Cool.
And we feel like this aligns our incentives with the business, because, we're not getting paid unless we're bringing you more customers.
Right.
And so that's been something our business owners, they love that business model, because it just makes sense. A lot of marketing models, you pay a lot of money up front. You don't know if it's going to give you any return. And so they love the fact that, hey, if we're not doing our job, we're not writing you a check every month. So that's been really big for us in our businesses.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell us what's next for Pointz.
So we are actually launching the latest version of Pointz. So it's for any current users right now, it's a pretty big design change. So the entire layout's going to change. It's Pointz version 4.0. So we're super excited about it. It should be out this weekend, but it'll give you a better way to navigate through all the information on there. It's going to be a better way to find local businesses. Local events will be scrolling on the home page. So it's a lot easier to navigate through, and I think everyone will really appreciate the new layout. So we're excited about it.
And y'all did a really good job of picking a time to do an app like this, because Birmingham has really exploded in the last 3 to 4 years, especially when it comes to small businesses moving back into the downtown area and to the city itself. And so congratulations. That sounds great.
Yeah,
You're doing a
thank
great
you.
job.
Yeah.
So where can our listeners learn more about Pointz?
You can go to our website. It's pointz.io. Or you can check us out on any of our social media platforms, our Instagram. I'm posting awesome food pics all the time. People seem to really be into that. And just a bunch of local businesses. So that's really the best way to keep up to date with what we're doing. But yeah, like I said, we're in the App Store, so download the app. You'll never have to do anything again. Just turn on Bluetooth, super simple, and get rewards when you go out.
And do we have a promo code that we want to push out right now?
Yeah, and for anyone listening, if you use the promo code RME, we'll give you 250 points. So thanks for supporting them. Thanks for supporting us, and use the promo code RME.
And we'll put a link to Pointz on our show notes, and also a list of the businesses you're currently in. And we appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Remember, you can go to our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to access our show. You can also find us on iTunes and our website, redmountainexpress.com. For Matthew Joyner, Patrick Tucker, and J.D. Baker, I'm Blake Westbrook. We'll see you next week.